Hi guys, it's me, Gordon from GDUBTV, and today we are going to have a little look at this dash and we're going to fit a doubled in head unit in there. Let's go. Hi guys, it's me, Gordon. Sorry I'm all cramped up, but I wanted to try and get a shot of me with the dash so you can see this head unit. It's from the 1990s, it's ancient. It is a Kenwood, so like a little bit higher end. But what I want to do, I've basically bought this doubled in fitting kit. So if you've got a modern car, you know, a lot of radios nowadays, they're like double size. So a singled in, if I take this off, is this size, and then a doubled in is basically just two of those together. And so what I'd love to do in my van is basically update this dash to fit a nice doubled in head unit. I've got one that I'm going to fit in the next video. So this is going to be just literally showing you how to cut around a T4 dash to be able to fit a doubled in head unit. I bought this off of Amazon. I'm hoping it's going to be the right size. It was only about 12 quid. I'll put a link in the description should you want to get one as well. But it's very important, whatever the dimensions are of the new radio you're going to fit, that you do check them, because these come in all sorts of different shapes and sizes. There's a couple of mil difference in this one and the radio that I'm going to be fitting in a future video, but I'm hoping I can sort of work around that. This was the closest one I could find. There are basically two options that people, well, there are three options that people go for on the T4. The first one is to go up high. Now, as you can see here, we've obviously got the air vents here. I'm going to strip this out in a moment and I'll show you what's going on behind here, but you can basically fit the doubled in higher up. So you use the original singled in, but you actually fit this so it's higher up, which means you're basically going to need to cut through here, lose two of the vents, mess around with some of the ducting around the back as well. Because mine's a Caravelle, I'll show you a little close up, but here you can see I've got this little sort of heater control panel just there. On a lot of vans, it hasn't got this switch for the rear for the heater, and so you can actually go back down lower. But again, when I strip it out, there's actually like there's like a cross brace there. I think it's for the steering, and it's a bit of a nightmare to go lower. Even though if you've got a space there, it'd actually be a lot easier to fit. That's a nicer fit. It means you don't lose your vents, but it means that you need to cut into the cross brace. One of the other things that people do is actually, like in one of these consoles, and they'll actually fit the doubled in quite low there, or somewhere here. I don't like the idea of that. I want to be able to see it when I'm driving, and so it's got to go on the dash somewhere. I'm just going to show you how to take this out. Now, it's pretty straightforward. You just want to get yourself a nice big screwdriver. I'm obviously doing this single-handedly, but what you can do is basically just pull these vents out like that. See, they just come out. The way I do it is just get a screwdriver, pop it in the middle, lever it up a little bit, and there you go. Look, just slide straight out. Obviously we'll do the same with this last one. There we go. Okay, and then I'll just show you on here, but you can see they've got like these little clips. There's one this side and then on the other side. And then in here, you've got the larger one. And on the other side, it's a smaller one. And so you can see on here, smaller one, larger one. So when you come to put them back on, you've just got to make sure when you put them back on that these clips are on. And then just to show you quickly, you just line them up, push it back in. There's a Phillips head screwdriver there, and then there's another one just here, so in vent 1 and in vent 3, and so I'm just going to undo those.
2 seconds later.
So there's those two little Phillips, which I'll just stick up here on the dash, and then this should just pull out like that. And so there we go, this comes off, so I'll put that up the top there, and then you can see back here, again, apologies for the light here, but there's this in the back, and you can actually just pull that out as well. This is part of the ducting. We're not going to need that. And then as you can see here, these are like the vents through which it puts the air in for those three vents. And so what we need to do next is we're just going to remove the radio. So I'll take the cover off. And then thankfully, because I've not got this actually in solid, I'll take that out. Disconnect all your wires. Now, one of the things you want to do is whenever you're messing around with your electrics is make sure you've disconnected the earth terminal on your battery. Just saves you frying anything. You'll be pretty safe. It's only 12 volt, but you don't want to sort of fry anything in the dash, any relays or anything like that. So make sure you disconnect the ground on your battery first. all there was a couple of multi-plugs in there and then the aerial in the back. It's pretty basic, and so you can see those there. Make sure you know where these are. Don't just shove them back in the dash, because otherwise you're going to have a bit of a problem later on. I'm just going to take that single din. I'm going to take this off as well, just to prove a point of why I'm not actually going to try and fit it lower and why I'm losing the vents, because I know for some of you, you're going to have a question as to why I'm doing that. This front cover literally just pulls off, and then as you can see, there's a few Phillips screw heads just around here that we're going to take off, so I'm just going to quickly do them now. They're all exactly the same size, so the great thing with older vehicles, they just use the same fixings on everything, which I love. So they're all the same size, so it doesn't matter about keeping them separate.
2 seconds later.
Okay, and so what I've done, because on mine I've got this ashtray as well, pins it in, whereas on other vehicles you might have different bits in different places. All the dashes, they're a bit modular, so you have different parts in different places. But there's a screw here, another screw down the bottom there, and then this just literally comes off. I'm just going to dangle that down, and then what we've got here is, if I just lift that out of the way, I'm not going to disconnect any of this. But right, so can you see here this metal thing? This is basically like some sort of cross brace or something. I think it's for the steering. I'm sure someone's told me, or I've read on a forum, that this is for the steering. Now the problem is if we wanted to fit the doubled in, see the doubled in here, if we wanted to fit it in like that, as you can see, this is that hole, right at the back there is that cross brace. That was where the radio was going to be. We're going to keep the vents at the top, but we want to go low, so we're going to change this heater panel for a single one. Actually, if I just measure that from the back of that cross brace to there, 70 mil, 7 centimeters. The problem is this cage in and of itself, you can see that cage is actually just 10 mil on its own. To fit it in here and go low means you're going to have to mess around with this cross brace, because it's just not going to push flush into the dash, whatever radio you go for. That's not something I'm prepared to try and take on. There's a lot of wiring back here. I don't know if you can see that. I don't know where any of this is for, but there's a big chunk of like the loom there. And so I don't want to go low for that. And plus I've got this with the rear heater controls, so I'd rather not lose that or mess with that. So that means I'm going to go up high. Losing these vents might seem catastrophic to some, but actually it's not going to mess with the vents at the top of the dash, which clean the windscreen. I'm still going to have this vent as a driver, and the passenger is still going to have this vent as well. Now obviously I've got 2 single seats, 2 captain seats. If I had a triple bench here, these vents at the front would be a lot more handy. You would probably want to try and keep these, because that's going to be like the only heating that the person in the middle is going to get is from these vents. But for me, sat here as a driver, I've got this vent, and for my passenger, they've got that vent. And so I'm very happy to sacrifice 2 of these for the sake of making this install of the radio a lot easier. I've put these bits back on the dash because you wouldn't need to take that off. I just wanted to show you that whatever that is, that support, I think it's for the steering column or something like that. All you would need to do is take those vents out, which I showed you. So you just wasted 2 minutes me showing you all that. So using a hacksaw, I'm just going to cut through here. I'm going to need to make sure I stay in line with this edge of where the doubled in cage went in. So imagine this is where that doubled in cage is going to go in. This is the single one. So I want to make sure I keep this edge here. So I'm just going to cut through here, a nice straight line. And I'm going to do the same again on this edge here, just cutting through there. And then that's going to remove all of this bit here in the middle. This will be a sped up bit, excuse the angle, but hopefully it'll give you an idea of what I'm doing. You can see I've just cut through here. I'll tidy that up with a little Dremel drill just to make sure that is flat and straight. But I've followed that edge pretty much through there, and I'm just going to do the same now on this side. Just pull that out, so that bit's gone. That's going to go in the bin. You can see now this hole starting to take shape for that doubled in. So the cage is just loosely, just placed in there just to sort of show the dimensions. So you can see there's this gap here, and then obviously the gap for that right hand vent. You can see just holding that there where the cage comes. So that means I'm going to need to cut along here, along the bottom. And also I'm going to need to remove this bit here on the end. That's going to be in the way. What I want to do is basically use my little Dremel, and I'm just going to cut through there just to give a nice sort of flat front, as you can see here, for the din to butt up against. And so I can't record doing that while I'm doing it. I need both hands. So there we go. You can see there I've taken that along there quite nicely. I'm quite happy that that's flat. And so that's going to be all right there. And then the next thing is I just need to cut this out. So I'm just going to get a Stanley knife and just cut. It's only a thin bit of plastic. Right guys, so you can see pretty much all done. Let's get a little close up. So yeah, there we go. Look, it's all in there. You can see at the back, I've just sort of like cut that air vent bit into a few pieces and pushed it up out the way. All my connectors are just dangling back here. The radio that I've got that's going to fit this hole will cover that perfectly, so you won't see any of that because it's quite a large screen. And so there we go guys, the next part is going to be fitting a radio in that hole. And so watch out, it's not really part B, but watch out for the next video when I'm going to be fitting a really smart new radio in there with Apple CarPlay, a reverse camera, a dash cam, digital radio, all that sort of stuff. If you're not subscribed already, please do subscribe. Please do press the like button. It really helps these videos reach more people. And guys, I'll see you in the next video. Peace out.